You guys, I've been on Instagram for 5 years, so clearly the time has come to start over. 5 years in internet terms is like an eternity. I've posted something like 1,100 photos, and that's coming from somebody who doesn't consider social media a main part of my life. I'm in a period of reinventing myself. I just got going with YouTube, and I'm ready to start re-going with all the rest of social media. You see, up to this point, I've actually been a fairly private person. I'm an introvert, and I don't really like sharing every little detail of my life with every human on the planet. The truth is, we could probably all benefit a little bit from people sharing a little less. I've been on social media since some of its earliest days. I'm talking Zynga, I'm talking Counter-Strike 1.3, I'm talking MSN and AOL Messenger, but most important of all of those is MySpace. I was in high school at the time, maybe 15, 16, something like that. And some girl just goes, "Hey, are you on MySpace?" I'm not kidding, she said it just like that. And I said, "What the heck is MySpace?" And she goes, "It's like where you post pictures of yourself and have friends." And so I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, sounds good, sign me up. So I started a MySpace account, and I did what everybody else did, which is I became friends with anybody and anything that had a profile picture. That was all good and well. I learned to, code and make my MySpace look really cool, and I was really into metal, and I was, really into going to shows, and then something super weird happened. Now I understand that this is really commonplace today, but at the time, this had never happened to me or anybody I knew. But I'm at a metal show, and some girl walks up to me and is like, "Hey, you're Eric, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how did you know that?" And literally as I was saying that, I thought, dude, she knows me from MySpace. This is freaky. And like I said, I'm kind of a private person, and that freaked me out, so I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this stuff. So fast forward a little bit, I graduate high school, and this thing called Facebook comes out. Now at this point, another girl comes up to me and is like, "Hey, are you on Facebook?" And I'm like, yeah, I will be for you. So I hop on Facebook, then fast forward another few years, and Facebook becomes this thing where your parents are on it, and it's kind of bloated, and the same thing that happened to me on MySpace is starting to happen to me on Facebook. But then, a savior arrives, a very hip, a very cool, a very trendy, filter-filled savior of social media, Instagram. Something else you should know about me though, is I'm also a kind of person that's hardwired that when anything becomes cool and trendy and everybody's doing it, I just kind of think, yeah, it probably sucks and I'm just not a part of that. That's how you know a true hipster. I'm not suggesting anything. At that time, the community that I was living in was super into Instagram, and it was just all kinds of trendy, and so I resisted for a little while. Go Power Rangers. I finally got myself an iPhone 4, and I posted my first photo on Instagram. It was April 30th of 2012. So if my math is right, which we all know I'm bad at math, that means I'm about a month shy of my 5-year anniversary on Instagram. Then on May 1st of 2012, I posted my second photo. Instagram at that time was a much simpler affair. You could only post one photo at a time. There was only a handful of filters. The only option for anything was like and comment. If I'm honest, I formed a lot of really great memories on Instagram. When I look back at all these posts, I just think, man, I've had a really great life. I have so much to be grateful for. But the other thing I realized is that the intent of this platform for me was to have a small network that I shared with just a few friends and family. Fast forward to now, 5 years later, and the same thing that happened with Facebook and MySpace is starting to happen again. As of this recording, on my Instagram, I have 413 followers. Compare that with your average high schooler, and that's pretty much nothing. But to me, if I were sitting in a room with 400 other people, and I was going to share an inside joke with them. I just don't think A, it would be funny, or B, useful. Basically what I'm trying to say is I've shared a lot of personal stuff, and as the network has grown, I've realized that I'm sharing my stuff with so many people, it kind of doesn't really matter anymore, so it may as well just be public. I examined all of my options and I realized, okay, deleting everything isn't really what I want to do, and parsing through all these photos and just deleting some of them isn't what I want to do, so I'm just going to go ahead and start a brand new account. So, if you're one of those lucky 413 people that follow me on an Instagram account that is private, what I'm going to invite you to do is follow me on my new account, which actually, clever me, so smart. We gotta get it done. Yeah, dude. I wanted to make my Instagram great again, but I didn't want to give up my old wait, what is it called? Your handle? Donald Trump doesn't always work. So I started a new Instagram account, but I did this clever thing where I renamed my old one and then I started the new one with the old name that I had. So anyway, the new account is at @EB_Hanson and the old account is at @EB_Hanson2. And with this new account comes a new me. Now, I'm not suggesting, I'm not saying I'm gonna have like, you know, a model account where I only post those really serious photos or only post everything with the same filter and the same all that. That's just not who I am. In fact, the truth is I'm pretty much gonna be posting exactly like I have been on my old account. The only difference is now you can't scroll back to like 5 years ago and see some super dopey photo of me. So, if you're into social media, you can find me at @EBHanson on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat, and I haven't figured out a new Facebook strategy yet, but when I do, I will let you know and we'll all be friends. That's all I have to say.